fairness for every generation.
Generational fairness is the fancy new term for taxing you out the ass.
Minister of Families Jenna Sudds and Charles Sousa held a news conference to talk about the increase in the Canadian child benefit. It was painful to say the least.
Let's take a look.
We hear a lot also about the issues of affordability. It's one of the issues that we're here today to recognize our support for families who need greater assistance. And it is a top priority for our government and certainly for my colleagues who are with me today to provide some added support. Now, we provide old age security and guaranteed income supplements, and we have $10 a day child care. There's a lot of work that we're doing with the dental programming. All of this is a means by which to support our families. And today's announcement for the child care benefit that Minister Sudds is going to make in a moment is in keeping with the desire for this government and for all of us to help one another. You know, Canada's a great place to live. And I got to tell you, the people I meet with, they are as compassionate as they are competitive. And they're also very concerned about being fair as we are prosperous. So we will do our utmost to try to provide for all of us to do our best. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want to introduce our minister, the minister responsible for this file, alongside Kamel Kara, the Honorable Jenna Sudds, to make the announcement. Thank you.
That was painful. I don't think I've ever actually seen him outside of committee, to be truthful.
Maybe this is why. And I have a feeling this is probably why he's not minister. It's like Luke Skywalker from, The Last Jedi.
Every word of what you just said was wrong.
Where to begin?
So, number one, Canada is a great place to live. It used to be.
Yeah, it used to be till you guys got in charge.
There's tent cities in Toronto.
There's tent cities in every city. There's tent cities in Hamilton. There's tent cities in Niagara Falls. There's tent cities in the small towns like that many of our viewers live in. Like, they're everywhere, and it didn't used to be like that. Even when we were going through the housing crisis with Stephen Harper, there were not tent cities everywhere. Well,
and the reason why I say Toronto is because that's where they are. That's where Sousa's riding is. So it's just the disconnect that these guys continue to talk about. And then he says, well, the people I talk to, they're concerned about being fair. Piss off. Like,
it's such a marketing term. It's, I think that was the best that Max Valaket could come up with.
Yeah.
It's fairness for every generation. Give me a break. How is it fair that my son, who's only 8, him and his grandkids are going to be paying for this mess?
Like, I'm sorry, get 100 Canadians that don't know each other and say, hey, how would you love to give 20% of your income to that guy? 100 out of 100 of them would say, no.
Or why?
I earned it. Why would I be giving it to somebody else? Who's giving their money to me? Go out and earn your own money. Well, what's fair is I earn my money, you don't tax it, and then I spend it how I want.
I think Canadians are very generous, though, but this has nothing to do with generosity. This has to do with the government mismanaging the taxpayer funds that it does receive, and then going, oh, we're disadvantaging certain groups, so we're going to take even more tax money from you and probably mismanage that too, and then call it generational fairness.
Yeah, it's a bait and switch, is what it is. The generational fairness is the fancy new term for taxing you out the ass. That's what that means. Oh, well, we're asking people to pay. No, you're not asking.
You're forcing people.
Because if you're asking, it would be optional.
Well, and why can they not find the funds from the tax money that they're already collecting? It's because they're mismanaging it.
Yeah, they're not willing to look and see, oh, is there any efficiencies here? No, we're not interested in that. More taxes, please. Well, yeah, that's not going to fly. And your $10 a day daycare, that's, failing. The dental care program that 70% of dentists are refusing to sign up for because it's a joke. Yeah.
Well, and
what else do we want to talk about?
Let's not forget how the $10 a day daycare actually came about through the Century Initiative.
Right.
You guys should check out our video about that. Pretty much that in order to get more women working, they need to lower the childcare fees, because more women working means more taxpayers, which is more taxes that the government can collect and then spend irresponsibly, I guess.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Charles. Good morning, bon matin, tout le monde. Really excited to be here at the Bridgeway Family Center with all of you. And a big thank you to Bridgeway Family Center for hosting us here today.
She sounds like an AI.
Yeah, her French was atrocious. And now my French is atrocious, but I don't speak it.
But what is it with liberals in talking really slow to everyone? Is that bad media training? It sounds like it. Like, come on, guys. It sounds like you're talking down to a class of kindergartners. So given that most of them do it, this must be the way they've been trained.
Could be. I mean, all of them, maybe not all of them, but a good chunk of the liberals that are giving press conferences speak down to Canadians in this manner. They don't speak to them as equals. They speak to them as if they're children.
Yeah, it's like they're the teacher and everybody else must sit down, and listen. Meanwhile, you have the Conservatives that talk to Canadians, and Pierre makes everybody not use notes whenever possible. I think that's good because you want it to come off as actually sincere. So, yeah. We told you it'd be painful.
I'm so thrilled to be here with my colleagues, Minister Kara, as well as the local and a force to be reckoned with, Member of Parliament Charles Sousa. At the heart of everything that our government does is our commitment to Canadian families and our commitment to affordability for Canadian families and fairness for every generation.
There it is again.
Taxes. And our commitment to taxing you out the ass.
Well, and I can't even remember what I was gonna say.
Generational fairness. Taxing you up the bum. That's it.
Stop.
That's what it is. And affordability. Commitment to affordability. Yeah, they certainly are committed to affordability. A lack of affordability for every Canadian.
Well, if they want to help with affordability, maybe they can start by getting rid of that carbon tax.
Every child in Canada deserves the best possible start in life. I've been a parent for almost 20 years now, and I can tell you it's a surprise. It's shocking how quickly the expenses add up when you are raising a family. Whether it's summer camp, someone mentioned that to me earlier today, whether that's extracurricular activities, new clothes as they never stop growing, I can attest to, back to school supplies, or the price of groceries, which we have seen continue to rise. Raising a family is expensive. And right now, paychecks aren't going as far as they used to. So it's become more difficult for parents to keep up with the rising cost of raising a child.
And whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? That paychecks are not going as far as they used to.
Yeah. And I love that their solution. Well, your paycheck's not going as far as it used to. So we're going to take more of it and then give less of that back to you.
Right. How about instead of giving parents, additional money as part of the Canada Child Benefit, because, oh, things are too expensive. It's too expensive to have a family. That's why Canadians are not having families. How about instead of doing that, we make life more affordable for everybody, including the parents?
And here's another idea. Cut the taxes. Cut the taxes so that your income tax is lower. You take more of your paycheck home, and then parents don't necessarily need to have two parents working. So then one has the option, they don't have to, the option of staying home.
But that goes against the Century Initiative, doesn't it?
Young families, some of those behind us that I got to speak to earlier today, they're doing their best. They're working hard and they're trying to make ends meet. But sometimes that's not enough. Our government has been delivering programs and benefits to Canadian families since 2015 to help ease with the rising cost of living and to ensure that an affordable life is within reach for everyone.
It was under Harper.
Isn't that sad that the goal is
Is an affordable life?
is a C rating?
Well, I think that it's getting out there through mainstream media in some cases and also non-mainstream media that 25% of Canadians are living in poverty. That did not happen under the Harper government. That happened under the Liberal government. So they're trying to deflect. They're trying to be like, oh, we're trying to help Canadians and make things more affordable. You guys screwed things up so bad. I think the only way you guys can make things more affordable is step aside and let the Conservatives take over.